is an assistant professor of English at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and the director of the Livingstone Online, and the Livingstone Spectral Imaging Project. Wisnicki's interests include Victorian literature and the intersection of British literary studies and non-Western history, and he was recently awarded first runner-up for data visualization in the DH Awards, so congratulations for that.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'll see if I can navigate all of the different pieces here. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, and thank you very much to MSU for hosting this talk. Oh, sorry.
Come to your shirt, that would be great. And then you can flip it to your hands. See, now you're handy.
Okay, excellent. Can everyone hear me now? Okay, so let me try that again. Thank you very much to MSU for hosting this talk, and thank you very much for having me. Can you hear me? You still can't hear me back there. Okay. Attempt number 3. Is that any better?
This is good. It's okay.
Hello? Can everybody hear me back there? No, there's still shit.
Why don't you just go for it, and I'll see if I can get this fixed.
Okay, so I'll just try to speak loud, and I'll do my best.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, well, the good news is that was all kind of the bad karma from the talks. From here, it's just smooth sailing on. Thank you very much yet again to MSU for hosting this event and for having me present today. I'll be presenting on Livingstone Online, plus a sibling project of that, the Livingstone Spectral Imaging Project. Before I really get rolling, though, however, I wanted to make a big shout out to the National Endowment for the Humanities. As I've indicated here, the NEH has funded 3 different phases of our work, and pretty much everything you'll be seeing today would not have been possible without NEH funding. Nor would my current position at the University of Nebraska, nor would I necessarily even be in digital humanities or teaching at a university had it not been for the NEH. So anyway, so if everyone is kind of familiar with this national picture and what's happening with the NEH, all I will say is that we will not let the NEH go down without a fight. So what I'd like to present on today is obviously my project, Livingstone Online. And Livingstone Online is a digital museum and library dedicated to the visual and written legacies of David Livingstone. David Livingstone was a 19th century missionary, abolitionist, explorer, and many, many other things. He's also a history that's really been, he's also a figure that's really been lionized by history and turned into something of a kind of biographical, the subject of a large biographical and hagiographical industry. What Livingstone Online does is a couple of different things. So first, we're very much interested in kind of taking the focus away from Livingstone the man and turning it to Livingstone's manuscripts, which are very rich, historical, cultural, linguistic, geographical, biographical sources. The other thing we're very interested in doing is educating, or in a lot of cases, re-educating contemporary audiences about how Livingstone's legacy has survived, how it's been preserved, different kinds of methods involved in preserving this legacy, especially in the modern period. And as part of that, we really try to take our audiences really far behind our scenes to kind of help them understand how we've developed the project from a theoretical perspective, how we run the project from a methodological standard, a perspective, all the different kinds of D8 standards we employ, and so on. We have a very wide geographical sweep. As you can see here, most of our activity centers on the United States, on the UK, and South Africa, though since no data set is complete without an outlier place, we've also got one collaborator in New Zealand. So, We're very interested in long-term collaboration. So a lot of the archives that we work with, we've been working with them for a very long time. And what this has allowed us to do is really empowered us in the kind of collaborative relationships we have with them. So in this case, this is just one example. This is our relationship with the David Livingstone Center, with whom we've been collaborating since before 2010. That was actually the first time I visited there. But the ultimate result is that we'll be putting out all the manuscripts that the David Livingstone Center has, which is his childhood home in Blantyre, Scotland, later this year. So that's kind of, it'll be a major milestone publication for us. So from a kind of theoretical perspective, what we're interested in doing is placing Livingstone back into his historical context. So thinking about the way he worked and collaborated with all kinds of different populations, we're interested in complicating the kind of information that people think is available from his manuscripts. Here's a map of Livingstone's. But one thing that we would draw attention to is that he had a lot of non-Western informants who provided the information for his work. We're also interested in kind of moving away from published works and going back to the messy works of the field and understanding just what is inside of those works and what that can tell us about different kinds of history and different aspects of history. Finally, we're very interested in applying new kinds of imaging technologies to understanding Livingstone's projects. And this is the project for which we are just first runner-up in DH data visualization, the Livingstone Spectral Imaging Project. And this project has really gone through two phases. The second phase is just wrapping up now. In the first phase, we were really interested in using spectral imaging to recover portions of Livingstone's text that weren't visible to the naked eye. And so in this case, we were able to recover something like 99% of Livingstone's original manuscript, in this case, his 1871 field diary. Finally, in our current project, we've really been moving away from using spectral imaging to recover lost text and focusing on recovering lost material history. So we've been thinking about the ways that spectral imaging can tell us how a manuscript has survived over time, the different kinds of hands and environments and events that have shaped that kind of manuscript. Thank you very much.